Actor Christopher Jackson is back on Broadway in Hell's Kitchen. And now Hamilton's original George Washington is teaming up with nonprofit Group Theater Development Fund, or TDF. The group is hosting the first ever performance of the worldwide musical phenomenon that's tailored for audience members with autism. Jackson sat down with our Will Gans to talk about the cause and the show that is obviously dear to his heart.
Grammy and Emmy Award winner Chris Jackson, thank you for being here. So excited to see you. Before we get to anything else, I have to ask about that Hamilton reunion at the Tony Awards. That performance, by the way, has been watched on TikTok 20 million times, just on TikTok. Yeah. What was going on behind the scenes to make that magic happen on stage?
A whole lot of love, a whole lot of reconnection. You know, once the Tonys in 2016 happened, we were there, we filmed a movie, and then we were all just sort of marbles on the floor. So it was such a healing process to be in the room with each other again, and pretty impressive to see how everybody still kind of had everything in their pocket. They were
unbelievable. By the way, all of you have gotten hotter over the last years. Like, that's what the comments were saying.
Well, okay, I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah. Speaking of Hamilton, though, I have to ask, the show is gearing up for its very first autism-friendly performance of the show this weekend. Yes. That's an incredible opportunity for all types of theater fans, but it's also something that's near and dear to your heart.
No question. Well, our son, CJ, was diagnosed with autism when he was 2. So for the past 18 years, through all of the different shows and all of these different experiences, CJ has been a part of it. This has all been a part of his journey as well. And to know that a show that I helped, build and be a part of, and is still so near and dear to my soul, is taking the time to have an autism-friendly performance is spectacular.
Yeah, it's so incredible, the work that TDF does, and now for the first time collaborating with Hamilton. What adjustments are made to a show like Hamilton to make it autism friendly?
Well, autism is about the senses, right? And so many people with invisible disability, things that we take for granted, like the house lights and the level of darkness and the level of sudden sound and the lights that sometimes might flash into the audience. All of these things are taken into consideration. They consult with professionals in the field of invisible disability work and advocacy, and they don't bring the lights all the way down. They keep the house lights up. They bring the sound levels of the sudden, impact sounds, things like that. They bring those things down. They're basically things that are normally meant to really to evoke through our senses some sort of emotional reaction or theatrical experience. They all still exist, but they're just lessened to the point where they can be accessible to folks who may have difficulty, in processing some of these elements in the theater. The goal is to bring the reality of the theater and all of the expression, all of the storytelling to life. It's just bringing it into a margins that make it more accessible to folks who are completely capable of enjoying a theatrical experience, but because their senses give them certain, very particular, they need a certain particular allowances in order to be able to not be bombarded with an overstimulating type of situation.
And in some ways, I have to imagine being a performer on that stage, it's even more rewarding than, other, performances.
No question.
Might be. We have a video question from a viewer who actually has the same birthday as you. Take a look at this. Oh boy.
Hi, Chris. Jessica Vosk here. Happy birthday to us both. And, I do have a question. You created In the Heights, you created Hamilton, and then you took a little hiatus, did some TV, and now you're in Hell's Kitchen. What's it like being back on Broadway now? What do you love the most about it? And as far as Hell's Kitchen goes, what is your favorite part of Hell's Kitchen, and why is it our scenes together?
I feel like this was a love ambush. I feel like she already knew what the answer to that question was going to be. Miss Jessica Vosk, of course, the one and only. She is an incredible partner on stage and off. She's awesome. Hell's Kitchen, it's just been great to be back on stage. It's been 8 years.
Yeah.
So for me, 8 shows a week. It's taken a bit to get my sea legs back, my street legs back. But being in front of those audiences and getting to experience the story is pretty amazing. I've got a 16-year-old daughter at home, so the rigors of raising a teenage daughter are not lost on me. Yeah, but I get to play a bit of a dirtbag in the show. I'm aspiring for a slightly higher experience.
Thank you for your advocacy and for making theater accessible to neurodiverse communities. So excited for this performance this weekend of Hamilton.
I'm going to get to be there for the first act, and then I got to go to do my show. But
you're such a busy guy.
So excited to see
yeah,
it.
so cool, so cool. Thank you, Chris
Will.
Jackson, for being here.
Appreciate it.
What a great story. Great interview, Will Gans. Thank you. And the curtain goes up on that special performance of Hamilton tomorrow afternoon. It's the 7th Broadway show this season to partner with TDF to put on an autism-friendly performance.